Because once I've briefed you and you're creating content, I'm literally putting the brand in your hands.
100%. Because there's a misconception that certain brands are for certain people, but I think we are gonna get there, right?
Yep, we are.
Cool. Creators are starting to create content like adverts, and I feel that we provide a guide to say don't.
Yeah.
We've got a do's and don'ts list.
Welcome back. It's your girl, Miss Rose, the influencer sister. Welcome back to Creator Conversations, the conversations for creators, experts, and. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing. I want to subscribe. Please, Bahulubaka, come through with the subscriptions. We are on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe there. Thank you so much for following us. Thank you for commenting and sharing and liking. It's been an amazing ride. Guru, it's getting expert after expert after expert after expert. My guest today is the one and only. I'm trying to bring us like from all of the spectrums.
Yeah.
Before I say that, shout out to Claude's Clothing for the sweater. I will put their link in the description for you to follow if you want to copy your pair. 1111, aka alignment and things. Thank you so much for this. I love it. I know you do too. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
How are you?
This feels weird.
I know. Wasn't it just the other day?
It really was.
It really was. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Pabi Mawela. So today you're here wearing a few different hats.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try and tap into all of them.
Okay.
I have you here as not just a content creator, but also as a campaign collaborator.
Yes.
Okay. So let's just open with that. Can you tell us your role within the influencer marketing, but also in the creator economy?
Okay.
Yeah, and how you work with content creators.
Okay, so my name is Pabi, and I am a campaign coordinator for the Salt.
Okay.
For the Salt and Influential. I do work with micro and nano influencers, but I think today we're focusing on nanos, right? So yeah, the Salt is the nano part of campaign coordination that I do. Yes, and sorry, what was your question again?
How do you work with, so that's your role, right?
Yeah.
Where does your relationship begin and end with content creators?
Yes, so where I fit in the very big picture is that I am the in-between person. So there's the creator, there's me, there's the account manager, there's
the brand.
Yeah. So I am the middleman in all of this. Yeah.
So you are the voice of the creator, essentially.
But
you're also the voice of the agency and the voice of the brand.
Yes.
How do you navigate all of that?
Thankfully, I don't do drugs because it's so difficult. But no, I think you learn how to love what you do, especially, and you get to meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
So you learn how to work with people, and then I think over time it just becomes easier to just manage those relationships. You also grow, and you learn how to get your way out of trouble.
And it's a lot of navigating, negotiating, and just and it's not just negotiating about money, because I feel like as a campaign collaborator, because that's also how I started actually, as a campaign coordinator / collaborator. Tell me about, what do you look for? How do you decide on the content creators that you use for a certain campaign?
Okay.
What are, let's say, maybe top 3 things that you look for in a content creator?
Okay, so maybe to give people like context, because maybe that's those are the steps that they don't understand, is that client will have a list of requirements of the creator they want, and they will say, I want them to be thin, and I'm kidding, but I want them to be this X, Y, and Z, right? Yeah. So although client has those requirements, I also do look for authenticity.
Yep.
Especially when you're a nano, I feel like the less rehearsed your content is, the better. I also look for the number of followers. Obviously, like if you're on 500, I would like you to push a bit more for engagement purposes. So that's also one of the main things I look for. I also look for what you post. Honey, we see it all. We see it all in vetting influencers. So appearance.
Yeah.
How you present yourself on social media, what you discuss. So a lot of people don't know that, okay, on Instagram, they'll portray a certain image and then you go to their Twitter and they are controversial. So those are the main things that I also look for. So if this is actually the top 3.
That you look for. I think an important thing that you've mentioned is how they look. I want people to understand that it's not about having the perfect skin.
No.
It's not about having the perfect aesthetic in terms of now you must go book an Airbnb because you want to, do content in a certain shower, XYZ. I think when you say, what do you mean when you say how they look? Are we talking presentation? Are we talking how they talk, how they carry themselves?
It's all 3. It's not about Pabi is chubby, Pabi is gay, Pabi is dark, Pabi is light. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. It's just, so what a brand hopes to get from an influencer is someone that represents them well. And when I look for a creator, I look at the brand and say, okay, does this person match the brand? So it's a respect thing. I think it's also etiquette to say, very great content, but just but not for this client. So it's more of a presentation thing for me.
I think what you said is also very important because then people need to understand that just because we don't put you forward on a campaign for a certain brand, it's not you.
It's not you. It's not.
It's you. It's just you. I hope that makes sense because then if a tech campaign comes for me, I'm not gonna do it because that's not what I do. So it's not me, right? So the problem is not my content, the problem is maybe not even my engagement, but the problem is how you align with the brand. So I need people to keep that in mind whenever they are like, where are the campaigns at? And we're like, they're over here looking for tech people. And you're a chef.
And you're a chef.
You're a chef.
Oh, you're a
I love it for you. You do some beautiful makeup, but this is a car campaign. So I think it's very, very important. Tell me about what a successful campaign looks like to you and how do you measure the success of a campaign from a content creator, success?
Okay. So for me, I feel from start to end, I start the measurement from there. If client says I need 10 people and I give them 10 people and they approve those 10 people without any issues, that's the beginning of the success, right? Then I also love it when content is approved at once. No reverts, we
live for those days.
Then it means that I did something right from the beginning. So it means the content creators are taking it seriously.
Right.
They are understanding what the brief entails.
Right.
They are understanding the brand that they're representing. And so also I also measure from a content creator perspective. Yes. I also measure timely posting. If they say post today, post today.
Also respond.
Hello?
Am I talking to myself, emailing you and chasing you on WhatsApp?
I've said hi, Rose. I've said dear Rose. I said hey,
Good day, Rose.
I mean, at some point, you got to answer one of the three.
Answer me. And I've said this before that it's such a little thing sometimes that can put you, when we were talking to Janae, we talked about the grey list, the red list, and the blacklist. Because people end up on the blacklist not because of content, not because of controversy, not because
Behavior.
You don't call us back. I don't understand how we need, like, our phone nearly back and we're just constantly. So I think it's such an important thing because, and so you can, now I think creators need to understand that really the success of a campaign does rest on their shoulders.
100%.
We're all just here to facilitate the process. It's not going to be you. You would have chosen the right creator. But once you hand over, because once I've briefed you and you're creating content, I'm literally putting the brand
Yes.
in your hands.
100%.
How do you think that we can assist, or what do you think, some of the things, even if it's just one top tip of how they can really lock in to make the brand campaign a success?
Yeah.
How do you think?
And I think it and it's very few people who understand that. Sometimes you see a creator with very amazing content.
Yeah.
But they lack the understanding that it's not just Pabi and the salt and you.
Yeah.
It's beyond that. Like, we are managing a relationship.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a new relationship and we're trying to make an
and
impression.
Sometimes it's a long-term
and we are
relationship.
relying on you to. So yeah, if only I would like influencers to understand that process profoundly, then they can
to really understand the role that they play. And that's why I think it goes back, we were chatting with another guest about how important it is to understand why you do content creation. Because if your why is to bring value, you're not going to leave us on red. You're not going to just play around with our time. You're not going to complain about everything. You're really going to do it for the passion. You're going to do it because of understanding that you're trying to build a relationship, not just with the brand, but with us also.
Yeah.
And by us, I mean because
really
the power is in here. Okay, so walk us through a typical campaign, the campaign process.
Okay.
From sort of start to finish. You've mentioned that you've mentioned the success in terms of selecting the right people, but walk us through a typical campaign process so that someone out there who doesn't know exactly what's involved will be like, Babi Batung, what's going on, so that they can understand.
I'm blessed enough to be working with the Sol because they have an amazing system that makes it quite simple, right?
Yeah.
So the process is that when you're selected as a campaign coordinator, so I think I mentioned this in the beginning, but I'll go through it again because I want to reiterate that it's a process.
Hello.
So you're chosen as the campaign coordinator. You're given the brief of the type of creator that is that client is looking for. You go through a whole list on a database.
Yeah.
And
a database of almost 500,000 people.
1,000 people.
100,000, not 100. There's not just 10 of you in there. So whenever I sorry to interrupt you, don't lose your chain of thought, because sometimes people think that like when it's like lifestyle, it's automatically going to be you. There is literally 480 something thousand of people on there. Granted, they don't all do lifestyle, but just let that marinate in you so that you can understand that you're really in a big world.
Yeah.
And this is just nano. We haven't even spoken about the micro section.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, okay, again, there are levels of nanos that people also need to understand. There's a nano who's just, it's raw content. Whatever they see, post.
Right there. No edits, nothing.
And then there's mid-tier nanos who are intentional with what they post because maybe they want to attract other brands. Maybe they're trying to maintain an existing relationship. So, so that's the process. I like to alternate between the two so that client gets to experience the best of both.
Right.
And I feel that when selecting the best of both, you get to see the brand being advertised in different ways.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that I like to do.
So it gives the brand sort of like some range
that even the average person can use this, because there's a misconception that certain brands are for certain people, but I think we are gonna get there, right?
Yep, we are.
Cool. And then once I've selected influencers and they've completed, so we've got a quiz on the salt that you must complete when I invite you to the campaign. And please, what we see on those quizzes needs to stop. Why do you want to take part of the campaign? I like the product. No, honey.
Sharp. I'm gonna get
What
sharp.
is that? Tell a story.
Yeah.
Tell a story. Show
Yeah.
your interest.
This goes back to the why.
Yeah,
This is where now you see when people just say, oh no, because I love it so much, green is my favorite color. Huh?
Like,
Oh, serious?
then when you put you forward, it seems like we are also just meh.
Yeah.
You know, we need to fill the numbers. But anyway, yes. Once I've selected my people, I shortlist. You'll receive an email that you've been shortlisted. When you're in the shortlist, you need to wait for client approval. So
Right.
that's another thing. People think that I just shortlist the client. No.
Yeah.
So the client does the approvals once I've shortlisted.
Right.
Based on client's feedback, I approve whoever they've approved.
Right.
And that will make up the list of selected creators. And then the process then.
Then the process starts.
Yeah. And then, so my job stops once I've handed over the collaboration to the collaborators. Yeah.
Hey, now there's levels. As we were collaborators, content,
Yeah,
coordinators, managers,
there's
everything.
somewhere my job.
Yeah, where you now
And
hand
then
over.
the
So now
experts.
then you then hand over to the coordinators who then take it from there. Those are the ones that send the briefs
Exactly.
and approve the content and all of that.
Yes.
So I hope that you guys have written that down. Again, the link is in the description of the other video where I was with Shanae. If you haven't watched it, pause this one. Go watch that one, then come back to this one. And then you can click the link in the description so you can register if you're not already registered with the SALT. But really, the process is so long. And I think that people don't take that into mind. They think from when you ask them, hey, are you interested? Because sometimes you ask them, are you interested? Then tomorrow they're phoning you. Kind of go, client is in a conference for 7 days and you don't know.
But
yeah.
That's I'm not biased, but the SALT is great in that way that I feel that it manages the creator's expectations.
Right.
So the tool is perfect for that. It's just there are those special cases where, hey, I've been on the short list for a week, honey.
I've also been on the short list for a week. So
yeah.
No, I hear you. You've mentioned something about, with creators understanding how it is to work with the brand. What are some of the misconceptions that creators have with the campaign or with working with brands?
Okay. We always have this conversation in private. Creators are starting to create content like adverts, and I feel that we provide a guide.
Yeah.
To say don't.
Yeah.
We've got a do's and don'ts list, sorry. And I'm finding that influencers are misunderstanding what's expected from them.
Yeah.
They don't know that the authenticity is what the client would like to see.
And it's why they book them.
Yeah. So you find that when you receive the content, hey, it's edited, yay, ooh, and I'm like, it would have been
and they
nice.
do that. Hi guys, did you know? It's only sharp. Yeah.
Guys, no.
And that really takes away from the authenticity. I think everybody really misses it when it comes to that. What else is there in terms of misconceptions?
The other misconception is that I think we touched on it. They feel that maybe we don't have lives.
Yeah.
They
text you in the nighttime.
Never mind that. I don't mind that. Honestly, right. I love my people who are on the database, but I feel that once they are on a campaign, they think that we have all the time for them. And it's not the case. Yeah. There's 17 other campaigns running at the same time.
40 people on each campaign.
Yeah, so they don't, and it goes back to a lack of understanding. There's just, and I think the misconception that I would like to add, I'm just trying to think, is that the brand doesn't take them seriously.
Okay.
So they have an attitude before they even begin. Yeah, and yes, they don't pay. Guys, whoa.
Focus.
Easy, tiger.
Yeah.
Just don't focus on that.
Yeah.
The minute you take on a campaign and you're already thinking about the payment, you're starting off on
You
a
already
bad
are
foot.
starting off on the wrong foot.
Yeah, because you're not giving yourself an opportunity to learn, the opportunity to appreciate the brand. You're already focusing on FNB, smiley face, X amount, So I think those are the main misconceptions that I can think of at the moment, although there are many.
Yeah. And if you do have any questions, regarding all of this, don't forget in the comment section to ask the questions so that we can kind of tackle it. And we are still going to get to a point in the podcast where we bring through brand so that, and different types of brands so we can understand, because there's different processes as well.
100%.
Because remember we mentioned tabaya, the niche, the personality. So especially when you are a nano, sometimes it does mix it up a little bit, because we'll come to you because of the
Why
authenticity.
aren't you asking me the question about a niche?
I will ask you. Let me ask you the question about the niche. These guests are interviewing themselves. So tell us, Pabi, how do you think the difference between having a niche and a personality, how do you find the balance? Or how can content creators find the balance between their personality and a niche?
This is a major problem that influencers don't know that it's a problem. You can be versatile.
Yep.
And that's part of your personality.
Yeah.
But you do need to stick to one thing that you are great at to attract the many brands that specialize in what you like.
Yeah.
So you're finding that you're working on cars. Next thing you're fixing computers.
Jesus.
Next thing you're gaming.
My goodness. It's a lot. And then you want makeup also.
Yeah, and then you get angry at us when we're like, Ash, we can't select you for this campaign because...
And then they're like, no, but I can do everything.
No. So I think, that's actually one of another misconception. Or, I can do anything. No. Great. But it's not ideal for other brands.
And alignment is important.
100%.
So Michelle X, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you're doing amabilisi supplements, choose one. You do know there's competitor brands.
Yes.
So already if I'm doing, I don't know, I can't mention vitamins, vitamins.
Multivitamins.
Yeah, if you've worked with 3 brands, surely the one brand that I'm working with is going to be like, but...
She's already done all of them.
She's done all of them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're not even getting paid for the ones you have posted.
Yep.
Now you're angry that the one that wants to pay you doesn't want to choose you. So you need, the niche is very...
Just try to balance. I spoke about this also in a couple of previous episodes, for people to kind of understand how to navigate that space of doing too much at the same time, and understanding things like that there's cool-off periods in between. So if you've just done a campaign with one camera brand, then the next one is not going to touch you for a very long time, only also because of the contract that you would have signed with the other one. Tell us about, we've touched on a little bit because of the niche, tell us about when you are reviewing content, what kind of content stands out to you from when the content is submitted, but also just the kind of content when you are submitting or when you are previewing, vetting content creators for campaigns?
For me, if the focus is on you more than the actual product or service, then it's like, Mara, what are we doing here? Like, guys, stick to... The more I see the brand, the more I'm just like, I think this is what they want, you know? And what I also like is creativity. So a lot of influencers are copying each other.
Oh gosh, they're duplicating.
Yeah, so like literally I could be looking at your content, which could be really dope.
Yeah.
But I would have seen it somewhere else. Yeah. You know, they would have been copying
another person.
So I look at those things to say, okay, is Pabi being Pabi? Because remember, I have gone through your entire profile to know.
On the multiple platforms, by the way.
By now, I know your sister and your uncle in Tanin.
Yeah, for real.
And now here's this product and you are a completely different person. So those are the things that I feel stand out.
Yeah.
And cleanliness in the shots.
Yeah.
You can't be advertising trash plastics and have trash in like
Focus, man.
focus. Like,
Yeah.
I also like lighting. Is it clear? Like, are we seeing what you're actually
Yeah,
doing?
yeah.
It's not even about how you speak or how you're
No,
articulating yourself.
or where you are.
Or where you
I've
are.
said this before, especially when it comes to lighting. I don't want people to think that they need all these fancy lights. You know, the sun.
The sun, honey.
What's about the sun? If you position yourself correctly
Yeah.
anywhere in front of the sun, you will get a shot like no other.
No, and you know what I want to add?
Yes.
I actually saw a TikTok yesterday. I'm not that I'm wasting time. And this guy was like, I like your picture, but
Yeah.
I wish you could have.
And just wipe the camera. A lot of you think that you need expensive phones.
No, you just-
camera. You guys don't wipe your camera.
Wipe
You all
the
don't
camera.
wipe your cameras.
So-
You don't focus about the things behind you. If you didn't make the bed, we're gonna know. We all know there was someone who was a celebrity who posted a picture and the bed wasn't made sharp. Sometimes you wake up, you want to do content, but those are the little things.
Yeah.
Obviously, maybe that person had the privilege based on being who they are, but how alula?
You didn't
Like,
make the bed.
Make the bed.
And another thing, if you're advertising ice cream, you can't be taking that 1 minute in the video to doing your makeup and then at the last 10 seconds, only then you're like,
Like, yeah.
yeah.
Also about where you are. Like if you're doing makeup, you're not doing your makeup in the kitchen.
Oh, honey.
Not in the living room. You're doing your makeup either in your bedroom, in another room, or in the bathroom.
That's another point.
Okay.
Like being realistic in the content.
Yeah.
You don't do your makeup outside.
You really don't.
Because
you
honestly, those
don't.
products need room temperature.
And outside is too hot.
Outside the wind, foo-foo.
Ah.
And there you are. Yes. So, guys.
Yeah. It's
so
just
those are
about
the things.
focusing. Sounds to me like we need a workshop.
100%.
We need a workshop. With that said, the academy is coming. Ne?
Yeah.
All of these things we're going to learn them in the academy. I can
Yeah.
see the timer is timing. Tell me about, before we close up, tell me about what advice you would give to content creators who want to establish long-term relationships with brands as opposed to just like a once-off campaign.
I actually had someone ask me that because actually I was like, Ish, you do very well with this. Like, so have you thought about a long term? Ne?
Yeah.
And how I thought about it is, so if you are advertising a brand
Yeah.
and you can see that everyone else that is advertising the same brand is doing the same thing, you want to almost come up with something
different. Yeah.
And also you need to then come up with a value proposition to say, okay, based on how I'm going to create your content going forward, my aim is to get you either sales or more website traffic.
Yeah.
Like I can guarantee you that based on how I aim to create content with your brand going forward. So I always say that people need to find different ways to market the brand to create that long-term relationship with the brand because you would have been coming with something different
And also valuable.
Valuable.
I think then this all goes back exactly to what I keep preaching. I'm going to sound like a broken record. The amount of times that I've said research on here, the amount of times that I've said strategy. Because if you strategize your content before you get a brand campaign, already we can see the thought process, right? When you booking them, because you said that you look at all the content in front of you across all the platforms. So don't go and be sweet on Instagram and then there
On
by Twitter
Twitter.
you're cursing, putting asterisks and everything, and you're busy trying to trend because of controversy. Don't try to do that because we can see everything. Where do you see, because obviously the nano creators are growing so rapidly, where do you see the growth of the nano creators within the creator economy in the influencer marketing industry in about 5 years?
I think it will take over more than the micro and macro space. My reason is, micros and macros, it's adverts
It's
and
this, and
clean.
videographers, it's this. It's
But like I see the nanos taking over because of the authenticity. I feel that people resonate more with that. And they
Resonate.
really want to to engage in that kind of content. That's why I feel that TikTok is doing very well.
Very well.
But yeah, I see it taking over more than the other tiers of influencers.
Yeah.
So I look forward to that.
Yeah.
I don't know, I could be wrong. It's my opinion.
I love that. Thank you so much. That brings us to the end because we could talk for
I'm sad.
days.
We
child.
need part 2.
We need part 2 and we will bring part 2 and it's going to be amazing. Thank you so much, Pabi.
Thank you, Rosie.
Again, the link for the salt will be in the description. Go ahead and register if you haven't. I spoke about subscribers. We are on the way. We are trying to build. Kalibala to subscribe on the YouTube. We are giving away 1,000 Rand in cash. Once we reach just 1,000 subscribers, it's really nothing. So go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. Follow us on all platforms, creator_conversations. Thank you. Bye.